So you guys really seem to enjoy the other videos that I've posted. And on the community tab, you guys really wanted to see this black belt video. So let's get straight into it. To start with, you have the test of force, the test of stamina, the test of mastery, the test of discipline, the test of swiftness, the test of tenacity, and the test of control. But to start with, we're going to start with the test of control. Before we get into the test, I want to give you guys some quick tips. So always aim in front of the skeleton. For example, it's going to look like this. Let's say this guy's your skeleton. You're going to be aiming in front of where he's walking. You're not aiming directly at him. You're going to be aiming in front of him. And also, you're going to want to make sure that you're always dodging the projectiles, always fighting the zombies. I'll show you an example right now. Okay, so for just a quick overview, there's going to be a few things that are going to happen to you. There's going to be skeletons and there's going to be zombies. First off, you're going to want to look in front of the skeleton, no matter what. You could also use a mod like NEU or SBE to help you with this. They will show the hitbox of the mob, but always aim in front of the mob. And when you get zombies, look away and instantly look right back at your mob. It's kind of hard to explain, but the best way I could say is hit a few zombies off and then look straight back at him. You're never going to want to take your eyes off of him for more than about 3 seconds. Okay, so now that we have skeletons, you're just going to want to move in a side-to-side motion, continuing to look in front of the guy. That's all you can really do. Just make sure you're looking in front of the guys. Hit 2 zombies, go straight back, hit the other zombie off, and you're golden. And you're just going to keep doing that. Make sure you're looking in front of the guy. And that's all I can really say. Okay, so let's move on to one of the more difficult challenges. In my opinion, Test of Force has to be one of the most difficult challenges there are. But I'm going to give you guys a quick few tips. First off, you're going to want to look for mobs on the edge of the map. For example, this guy. You're just going to hit him off, and that's all you're going to be going for. Close to the edge of the map, excuse me. And you're just going to only go for these guys until you get a lucky run. Pretty much what I mean by lucky is you're just going to look around for guys who are close to the edge, and if they don't go off, you don't touch them. That's pretty much all I could say. If they aren't going off, leave them alone. Alright, now let's go to one of my favorite tests, the test of mastery. You're gonna honestly only go for red and yellow ones. This is gonna be the most points you'll be able to get on any of the tests, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna wait until it's ready, and you're gonna fire. Only go for reds, boys. If you go for anything that's not red, you're not gonna get points, I promise. Please just listen to me this one time and download a mod that'll help you get the reds more often than not, because if you're not getting reds, you're gonna get 0 points, I promise. I'm gonna give you with my least favorite one, the test of swiftness. There is really no edge in test of swiftness. All you can do is really follow the particles and where your block is going to go. All I know is that when 750 score-ish comes around, you're going to start getting 2 block jumps. And you're going to need to make sure you're being careful with these 2 block jumps. So in around about 400 score, you're going to start jumping, and it's going to get really confusing real quick. But all I can say is that be careful and make sure you're paying attention. You cannot be watching something in the background, or else you are going to be so lost. Trust me, I tried. It doesn't work out, I promise. So make sure you're just focusing on the jumps. Make sure you're watching the timer, and if you're lagging, just try again. So once you get about 800 score, be prepared for double jumps, and make sure you're constantly watching where you're going. I don't have a really strategy for this. I think you just need to practice. If you look back on my streams that I did like a month ago, I was on the test of swiftness for 4 hours. I did it for 4 hours straight because the server was lagging, and that's what it took me to get an S in the rank. So just keep going at it. Please listen to me on this one. I'm sorry there's no strategy for it, but you just have to do it. You literally just have to sit there and take it. I can't say anything about that one. You're just gonna have to do it. The next test is the test of tenacity, which is a pretty easy one in my opinion. There's not really a whole lot of strategy involved. All I say is go in F5 mode and run around. There's not, like I said, there's not very much strategy. You're just gonna have to run around and do parkour. So there's no strategy here. Just run around and dodge the particles, and you should be fine. Let's go ahead and go over the test of discipline. As the name suggests, it's a test of discipline. So make sure you're not running around rushing as hard as you can. You're gonna want to get a mod like NEU that'll have particles around the mobs, so it tells you kind of which ones to hit. The server appears to be a little laggy right now, but you're just gonna want to make sure you're hitting every single mob you can possibly. Make sure I have a little bit of a tip for you. you're gonna want to stay in the middle area. Stay in the middle, don't go on the sides. You're just gonna be wasting your time, especially when the rounds switch. I can also say that you can switch your binds on your keyboard to make it easier to switch in between the swords. But honestly, if I were you, just get used to the regular keyboard binds. This is another one that's gonna take a lot of practice to do. So just keep going at it until you don't, until you want to cry. Just make sure you're getting the right ones. And if you hit a single mob incorrectly, go ahead and reset, because you're going to be wasting your rates and it's going to actually mess your rates up a lot. Also, another tip I can give you is go for big piles of the same mob. It's going to help you out because you'll be able to hit them all at the same time without any repercussion. In my opinion, stamina is one of the hardest challenges, but I'm going to give you a few tips on how to beat it quickly. First off, this is a great example. If you see any options to be on the ground without jumping, make sure you go through those. And to make sure to be able to tell how to jump through, you can go in F5 mode and you could jump through to be able to tell how quickly the barrier is moving due to the server lags. Unless you are super laggy, which in that case, then just go ahead and just try your best. With that being said, as much as I say, do it constantly, do it over and over again until you get it. That's pretty much it for the dojo. I understand that a lot of you came here for some cheesy bullshit to get your way through it, but there's really no such thing as cheesy bullshit in this game. You're gonna have to constantly put in hours, and you're gonna have to make sure you put the time and effort into doing this challenge. But hey, I get an extra 12 mining fortune on my belt.